How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be going over my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 318, Holloway vs. Poirier 3 on July 19th, 2025. Timestamps in the comments below. Let's get right into it with the first fight of 14. We start with Carli Judice versus Nicolle Cagliari. I'll go with Carli Judice on this one. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky, though. Carli Judice does get hit a lot. That is something that you have to... If you're picking Carli Judice, you kind of have to realize that going into this fight, and I do realize that, very much so, in fact. And Nicolle Cagliari does have some pop in her hands, and she is a little bit technical, but I just think that Carli Judice, I think she's faced really stout competition so far in the UFC, and Nicolle Cagliari kind of got in on a whim against, what's-her-face, the Laframboise, that girl that she subbed on the Contender Series. I think she kind of got in because she was given a fresh, an easy opponent. Carli Judice had to fight Ernesta Carrasqueta, who also beat Nicolle Cagliari. Carli Judice, I think, had a bit more of a competitive fight with Ernesta. She was just slugging it out on the feet with her, landed a bunch of shots on her. Pretty close fights. You could say the same with the Nicolle Cagliari-Ernesta Carrasqueta fight. It was somewhat close. I thought that Ernesta clearly won 2 rounds, though. I think it really comes down to who's going to be landing the bigger, better shots, which could be Nicolle, but I also think volume will play a factor in this. Carli Judice has one of the craziest gas tanks I've seen at women's flyweight. Really, really solid cardio from Carli Judice. She went 15 hard minutes with Ernesta Carrasqueta on the Contender Series. She went 15 hard minutes with Gabriela Fernandez, arguably winning that fight. Gabby Fernandez, who beat Wong Tong, of course, so you got to take that into consideration. Carli Judice, in the third round, tripled her numbers on significant strikes. That's fucking nuts. She landed like 90 total strikes in the third round, after landing like 110 in the first 2. You know what I mean? Like, she's a volume, she's a pressure boxer, and Nicolle Cagliari, we've seen her back up in moments. I think Carli Judice will back up Nicolle Cagliari, wade in and out from the big shots, coming back at her, defend the takedowns, because Nicolle will shoot on her. I think Carli Judice, I think she trains out of, because she's from Louisiana. I don't know where she trains, but I think she trains where Dustin trains, which I think is American Top Team, but I don't know. I just think that she'll have the better moments in this fight than Nicolle Cagliari. So I'll go Carli Judice by decision, 29-28. You can guarantee that a WMMA fight will go 29-28. We move to Brunno Ferreira versus Jackson McVey. I'm going to be going with Brunno Ferreira by second or first round TKO. Jackson McVey has had a weird signing to the UFC thus far. Got signed to fight Christopher Ewart at 317. That fight fell through because Christopher Ewart was signed 3 days before the event and missed weight by 10 pounds. So Jackson McVey has kind of been in limbo, cut weight, and made the 185 mark for the fight, and now has a fight 3 weeks later. And cutting down to 185, again, he's a big fucking guy, so I imagine cutting down is not that easy for him. I mean, he's 6'4", and he's fighting a guy like Brunno Ferreira, which usually in a fight like this, you'd see me pick the hype-mongering guy. You'd see me pick the really tall dude, just because, man, he's going to be working his jab. Which, to be fair, Jackson McVey's striking is somewhat decent. I think I have to realize that sometimes veteran status does just play a factor. Like, sometimes it does. I think this is going to be a fight where it does. Brunno Ferreira has fought really solid comp in the UFC. Abus Magomedov is ranked. He's fought Nursultan Ruziboev, who besides Brunno Ferreira, who did TKO him, but he's also knocked out RoboCop. He's the second to last person to beat Gregory Rodriguez. He knocked him out in the first round. Now, to be fair, Gregory Rodriguez does have a suspect chin, but he's also a huge fucking middleweight who also has the takedown threat. You know what I mean? Like, Brunno Ferreira has fought guys. Abus Magomedov, huge middleweight, has a takedown threat. Ended up finishing with the takedown, but it is what it is. Brunno Ferreira, he was training for Ikram Aliskerov. I imagine that he was training his jiu-jitsu. He was training his wrestling, brah. He's just training the wrestling, brah. And Jackson McVey, he's a big guy. He keeps his chin in the air a little bit too much for my liking. I think he keeps his chin kind of in the air. I think Brunno Ferreira has some of the heaviest hands at middleweight right now in the unranked section at least, which there are a lot of fucking people. Joe Pyfer comes to mind. Gregory Rodriguez, Brunno Ferreira, these guys all have heavy hands. Brunno Ferreira knocked out Gregory Rodriguez with a, jab. Or it was a straight, technically, I think. But I think Jackson McVey, short notice, I think he's going to get caught with something. I think he's going to get caught with something eventually in the first 2 rounds. I think he'll be trying to work his takedown game, trying to push Brunno Ferreira against the fence. I don't think it's going to work. I think Brunno Ferreira is going to get another highlight reel finish for his resume. And even when we've seen Brunno Ferreira get taken down, he has gotten up in moments. And I don't think Jackson McVey has the striking to shut down a Brunno Ferreira. Like we saw in the first round against Abel Smagomedov, Brunno Ferreira kind of freeze on the feet and kind of throw nothing. And then when he started to go, he started to piece him up. I don't know if Jackson McVey has the best cardio in the UFC. To be honest, I don't think I watched a single fight of his that went the distance. But I imagine that his cardio, his chin health, everything's going to be a little bit zapped because he's going to have to cut weight again. So I will go Brunno Ferreira by knockout. We move to Ryan Spann versus Łukasz Brzeski at heavyweight. God. I'm going to pick Ryan Spann, Łukasz Brzeski, the thing about Łukasz Brzeski is that he's actually not that bad. He just has one of the worst chins I've ever seen in my life at heavyweight. He genuinely he cannot take a punch. He gets chinned by anything that lands flush on his face. And Ryan Spann, even though he is a moron, I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree on that fact, is that Ryan Spann is a dumbass. He is stupid. He does have some of the nastiest power I think I've seen in my life. He has some of the gnarliest, one-punch KO. He'll put your ass down. You know what I mean? He does hit really fucking hard. And he's a light heavyweight moving up. I know that he lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta, but we also just saw fucking Sergey Spivak lose to Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now, I thought I thought Sergey had a chance of winning that fight. I thought he had an argument to get the decision, but Waldo Cortez Acosta is fighting Sergey Pavlovich in a month. So Ryan Spann losing to that guy isn't that bad. Now, him losing to Anthony Smith twice is kind of unforgivable, but Łukasz Brzeski doesn't really have a lot of punching power to kind of upset Ryan Spann, because Ryan Spann does also have a suspect chin. But I don't know if Łukasz Brzeski is a overwhelming kind of fighter to kind of zap the confidence of Ryan Spann. If Ryan Spann does land on Łukasz Brzeski, I think he will knock him out. I think this is a matchup that'll look like the Ovin St. Preux fight at 307, where he's kind of walking him down. Łukasz is kind of throwing off the back foot. And then Ryan Spann throws a humongous right overhand, sort of lands on the jaw or behind the ear, and Łukasz is kind of fucking all cockeyed and then falls over, and Ryan Spann knocks him out, or subs him. I'll go with a knockout though. Łukasz Brzeski's 1-5 in the UFC, and I'm pretty sure 4 of those losses are by knockout. I'm pretty sure one of them is Waldo Cortez Acosta, Mick Parkin, Kennedy Nzechukwu. What's the other one? I know he lost to Martin Buday by decision. I can't have Tapology because one of my monitors is shut off. I fucking forget, but I know his one win is Walter Walker, which makes no sense, but I will go Ryan Spann by knockout. I don't think Łukasz Brzeski has the cleanest boxing to upset a Ryan Spann. Even though Ryan Spann is stupid, he is a big heavyweight, and he has light heavyweight skill, so he should win this. This is a bottom of the barrel heavyweight. Ryan Spann should beat him. If he doesn't, he's actually fucking garbage. We move to Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. I'm gonna go with Jimmy Crute on this one. Marcin Prachnio is tempting just because how bad the track record of Jimmy Crute has been as of recent. Dude, I just there's no way this motherfucker loses to Marcin Prachnio, right? No shot. Dude, if he loses to Marcin, he is genuinely the most washed 29-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Jimmy Crute, he hasn't won a fight in a while. Was his last win the Bukauskas win? Dude, that was like 5 years ago. Oh no. Because that's the thing. Like, Prachnio does have some really good wins. Like, he beat Khalil Roundtree 4 years ago. For, like, no reason. He just beat him. He just outstruck him. But that, to be fair, that is a guy who is not going to take him down. You see people who mix it up against Marcin Prachnio, other than fucking, what was his name? Fucking, Devin Clark, who's dog shit. Marcin usually loses. I think if Jimmy Crute realizes, like, oh shit, a takedown could win me the fight, he's going to try and take Marcin down. And also, Marcin Prachnio does back up, and Jimmy Crute has really solid pressure. Like, in a weird way, his pressure's actually really solid, and he's got really good offensive takedowns. Like, when his perennial nerves shut down against Anthony Smith, he's still got a takedown on Anthony Smith. Like, that's how bad Anthony Smith is, but that's also how good Jimmy Crute is. I mean, he just bulldozed him over. Marcin Prachnio doesn't have the most technical takedown defense. He's got really wicked striking up, like, at kicking range. Got really good kicks, really good side kicks, but also he's got a suspect chin, and Jimmy Crute does have power. Marcin Prachnio seemingly doesn't have the best power in his hands. A lot of it is focused from his kicks, which are very dangerous. I mean, the kick that really comes to mind is the kick over Modestas Bukauskas, in my opinion, where he throws a question mark kick in fucking elbow range and somehow hurts him. It's one of the wildest clips I've ever seen in my life because he got hurt right before that. But Marcin Prachnio, I think, is a little bit lower output. I think Jimmy Crute will throw a bit more out there, set up the takedowns really well. And I think Marcin Prachnio is just primed to get subbed by Jimmy Crute. I think that's what his career is built up to, is to have a competitive fight on the feet with Jimmy Crute, because I think Jimmy Crute is susceptible to low kicks. I think Marcin Prachnio could work that game of his and set up a head kick if he does want to. But I think that overall, I think Jimmy Crute's takedown offense and overall pressure on the ground, he has really good pressure on the ground, guys. He does really work really hard on the ground. I think he's going to be able to find a submission over Marcin Prachnio. If he doesn't, then on the feet, rounds 2 and 3 could get a little tricky, but I think he will be able to find a takedown again. It's not like Marcin Prachnio has a unseen submission game that we have no idea about. He doesn't really do well off his back. He has no, like, defensive subs that I can recall. I think Jimmy Crute's going to be able to find a submission here over Marcin Prachnio in the first or second round. Jimmy, you got to win a fucking fight, bud. Come on. Please win this. We move to Adam Fugitt versus Islam Dulatov. I will be picking Islam Dulatov to win this fight by second round KO. Could be a first one, but I think Adam Fugitt's a little bit tougher than people give him credit for. This is, in my opinion, a layup for Islam Dulatov. Adam Fugitt, he's got decent striking. He's all right on the feet. That's about it. He's a very mid fighter. He's a very, like, he can give tough fights, some competitive fights to, like, Michael Morales, where he's doing a little bit of work. Mike Malott, where he's doing a little bit of work. But his ceiling is like beating Josh Quinlan. You know what I mean? And I honestly thought that fight was kind of a robbery. I thought Josh Quinlan did have a good shot of winning that fight. I thought he had a really good argument to win that fight. Islam Dulatov is going to be bigger than Adam Fugitt, which we've seen he struggles with. He's going to be fighting a guy with insane power. Islam Dulatov has one of the nastiest powers I've seen, and I've watched tape on him. He's got a 100% finish rate. He lost his first ever fight in his career, and then ever since then he's just been racking up KOs, and I think he's got 6 KOs, 5 submissions. And that's another thing. He's well-rounded as well. And he's a marauder. And that's another thing. Adam Fugitt will back up, and we've seen he does his worst when his back is against the fence. And you got Michael Morales teeing off on him. You got Mike Malott sort of teeing off on him, and then he finds a submission. Was that in the center, or was that by the cage? I think that was in the center, maybe. But either way, Adam Fugitt's one of these guys that does decent until he gets caught, and then he kind of doesn't really know what to do when he gets caught because he's so scrambled out of his mind that he's like, Islam Dulatov should win this by first or second round KO. He's got really gnarly boxing combinations. He's got nasty elbows up close. Adam Fugitt's defense does worry me in moments. He really reminds me of like an Anton Turkalj in a way where he's just like somewhat okay. You know what I mean? Like, he's decent to have, like, competitive fights with fucking... like, Anton Turkalj, from what I remember, went, like, to the third round with, like, Vitor Prachnio. And, like, the second win... Did he go to the... No, he didn't fight Jailton Almeida, did he? He didn't fight Jailton. I don't think he did, at least. Yeah, Adam Fugitt's pretty mid. Islam Dulatov is one of my favorite prospects on the scene right now. Made very quick work of the dude on the Contender Series. To be fair, he was just like a sort of like... He was like a fluffy Latin dude and made quick work of him. But Adam Fugitt hasn't fought in a while. His last fight was the fucking Josh Quinlan fight, which was over a year ago. You know what I mean? So I think Islam Dulatov is prime for a finish. We move to Ateba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. I'll go with Ateba. I'll go with Ateba Gautier. I think Ateba Gautier he's going to lose eventually. He's going to. Like, that's just like, that's how that build works. You know what I mean? Like, someone that's that jacked eventually will lose in their career to, like, a guy that you're like, how the fuck did he beat him? I think Robert Valentin could be that guy. He's got really wicked power on the feet. He's got really gnarly combinations whenever he feels like it, really good finishing potential, really weird submission game where he's able to get like a fucking key lock with his legs. Whatever submission he got on the fucking Ultimate Fighter, which was disgusting, which Ryan Loder almost got on him. But my thing with Robert Valentin is like, I think he's a killer be killed kind of guy. And I think Ateba Gautier, I think he's got a decent enough chin. He's somewhat technical, and he does have good power as well. Knocking out Jose Daniel Medina the way that he did when Zachary Reese wasn't able to, but to be fair to Zachary Reese, even have that much power because he wasn't able to finish Dusko Todorovic. You know what I mean? Like, how do we rate Zachary Reese now after that fight? Fucking hell. I think Ateba, I think he's good enough to beat Robert Valentin. Robert Valentin, very active, but I think he's going to be slightly outgunned here. Robert's very squirrely on the feet, kind of does a lot of weird, like, hand movements, kind of is all over the place. He's like kind of like a Yuri in a way, where he's kind of got his hands a little bit lower, and he's kind of just throwing shit to throw shit. I think Ateba Gautier is pretty tight and concise for how monstrously large he is. He's got decent power, and Robert Valentin's been knocked out before, albeit one of them was the Ryan Loder TKO finish where he was in a crucifix where he just couldn't get out. But I don't think Robert Valentin's the type to kind of like try and wrestle an Ateba Gautier, and I think Ateba Gautier probably's got decent hips. I think Robert Valentin didn't really look like he had any crazy thing off his back, to be honest. Against Torres Finney. But I think on the feet, Ateba Gautier is somewhat concise with his punches, pretty tight, pretty technical when it comes to everything. Got a really solid right hand, left hook, and he's also got intangibles, like a knee up the middle and an elbow as well. Like, Robert Valentin isn't the only guy that has those nasty extracurricular weapons. So I will go with Ateba Gautier by first or second round knockout. Even though Ateba Gautier does have that Contender Series fight against that, was it the Asian guy that he fought, or was that the other dude? Who fought? Was he the Asian guy? Was that who Ateba Gautier fought? Who am I thinking of? I don't know. Whoever he fought in the Contender Series wasn't really that good, and Ateba brought him to like the second or third round. I forget. I think it was the second. But yeah, Ateba Gautier. I think he's solid. I think he's a solid prospect. I think he's better than Robert Valentin a little bit. I think he's got better boxing than him at least. He's also young. Fucking bless myself. And this is going to be an instance where Robert's fighting a guy who's actually bigger than him, and I don't know how he does against those people. So, based off what I've seen as of recent, I think Ateba Gautier has better boxing, really good power. So does Robert Valentin, but I think Ateba Gautier's got better like hand power, like actual punching power. So I will go with Ateba Gautier by first or second round knockout. We move to Francisco Prado versus Nikolay Veretennikov. This is tricky because I genuinely believe Nikolay Veretennikov is dog shit. I'll go Prado. Fuck it. I think Veretennikov is pretty trash. which makes me sad because I really liked Danny Barlow, and I knew after that fight I was like, this guy might not be it, but I genuinely just don't think Nikolay's that good at all. I think he's pretty mid everywhere. And Prado, even though there's no reason this dude should be fighting at welterweight, what are you doing? You're 5'10", 69 inch. Just because you fought a unicorn in Daniel Zellhuber doesn't mean that you should be going up a weight class. Like, you think that Daniel Zellhuber's big? Go up to welterweight and fight a big welterweight. To be fair, he did. He had a competitive first round with Jake Matthews and then kind of just got outgunned in the next 2 rounds. I just think that Francisco Prado, he's got really good power, really thudding power. He's young, so he's got more to build on. I just think Nikolay's garbage. Like, I just don't rate him at all. It looked like he couldn't defend a takedown against Austin Vanderford. And Francisco Prado does have wrestling in his back. He shot 6 takedowns against Jake Matthews. Like, he does have that in his back pocket. Like, he can wrestle somewhat. And he won the first round against Daniel Zellhuber. Like, he's doing well against these bigger, competent guys. Like, Daniel Zellhuber's a really good sniper, and Francisco was able to get in on him. Nikolay Veretennikov is dog shit. Like, he is garbage. But Francisco is going to be super size-mogged by him. But Nikolay's not good like Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews just beat Chidi and Njokuani in a minute. Francisco went fucking 3 rounds with him. And the first round he did somewhat well. The striking numbers were competitive. Like, Francisco can buck. That's the thing I like about him, is that he fights. Like, Francisco does fight. Nikolay, he's super low output, can't defend a takedown, is shit. I just don't know what to say about him. I just don't think he's that good. And neither is Francisco Prado, especially at welterweight. He would have so much more success at lightweight. But, what do you know? He did lose to Jamie Malarkey. Like, this fight is so dumb. Why is this not a pay-per-view? I would much rather break this down as a featured fight of a fucking Apex card. I'm picking Francisco Prado, though. I'm not going to change my mind. Nikolay could win, just where, like, the first round, again, is close, and then the second round, third round, Francisco kind of falls off a little bit, and Nikolay's just slightly outpointing him, but Francisco should win this. Nikolay is garbage. He's so average at everything, and Francisco's got decent boxing. He's got fucking T-Rex arms, though, man. I'm picking Francisco Prado, fuck it. Decision, I'll go 29-28. This is fucking stupid. Fuck this sport. We move to Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. No idea why this is on the prelims. I thought this was a clear-cut co-main event. I'm picking Brendan Allen. Marvin Vettori is genuinely washed up. He's so inactive. I'm really picking this fight based on the Roman Dolidze performance. I was appalled. I was appalled by that Roman Dolidze performance. He genuinely got outworked and outstruck by Roman fucking Dolidze. Brendan Allen does have good striking as well. He's got decent boxing. His chin is what worries me. But is Marvin Vettori got that much power? Like, bro dropped Jack Hermanson one time, but is that, like, enough for me to, like, fucking... And was it Carl Roberson was the other one that he got a TKO over, or was that a submission? I forget, but... Like, Brendan Allen is actually, like, good at fighting. But he's dumb. He's dumb. They're both dumb, to be fair. They're both really dumb fighters. But I think Brendan Allen's actually decent at fighting. That's the thing, is, like, he's actually good. He's got a good jab, good right hand behind it. He's got good kicks as well. He just makes really dumb, in-the-moment mistakes. But he's got a better track record in the UFC. He's fought way better comp. Has won rounds against way better people. He won a round over Nasruddin Imavov in that first round. Controlled him the entire first round. That's really fucking good. Fight with Anthony Hernandez. I thought he won the first round against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Out-grappled him. You know what I mean? Round 3, he's having competitive striking matches with Nasruddin Imavov until he shoots a takedown like a moron. He beats Chris Curtis in mostly a striking battle, gets his back, though. He's got good offensive wrestling. Marvin Vettori's mid. He's mediocre Marvin. I genuinely just believe Brendan Allen's a better athlete and better fighter. I think he's got way more tools on the feet, and that's all it really comes down to. If you can throw a leg kick, throw a jab, throw a right hand behind it, throw a body kick in moments, throw a teep, you're going to beat Marvin Vettori on the feet. That's about it. Like, Marvin is so average, and he's one of those guys, I always bring it up, who wants to be super technical, but shouldn't be. He's one of these guys like, I gotta match the same trajectory on every jab. I gotta make sure this looks good on the camera. No, you just gotta win a fucking fight, you moron. Just win. That's all you need to do is just fucking win. But he doesn't do that, because he's stupid. So, Brendan Allen should beat Marvin Vettori. This was a matchup that got rescheduled. Or Marvin pulled out, Chris Curtis filled in. Marvin has only fought once in the past, I want to say 2 years. 2 years ago, because he fought Cannonier in June in 2023. So, yeah, he's only fought once since then, yeah. So, he's so inactive. He's got personal shit going on. I think Brendan Allen should win this. He's a more technical athlete if he is smart, which is going to be a win. This is going to be a fucking chance. He should beat Marvin Vettori. I'll go Brendan Allen by decision, 30-27. I think he'll win every round, and at the end, Marvin would be like, what the fuck was that a fucking question? I should have fucking won that shit. So I'll go Brendan Allen. We move to the featured prelim. Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. Another fight that I have no idea why it's on the prelims. Y'all know who I'm fucking going with. Vinicius Oliveira is a channel favorite on this channel. He is one of the homeboys. I might need to make a whole banner about, like, people that I really fuck with. Like Bedtime does, but he does one per division. I have a couple per division. But Igor Severino's going to stay. I think Vinicius Oliveira, let's get back into the breakdown. Vinicius Oliveira has a really good track record in the UFC. He's got really good cardio, fought with a broken rib against Said Nurmagomedov, and ended up beating him because he out-cardioed him, outpaced him. Kyler Phillips' big issue has always been his cardio and people walking him down. I think this is a tailor-made matchup for Vinicius Oliveira if he doesn't get, like, chinned in the first round, which could happen, I guess. If Said ain't going to do it, I don't think Kyler does it. I think Kyler Phillips' striking is a little overrated. He's got a lot of good wrestling as well, but he gasses himself out so fast. Like, that's exactly why he lost the Rob Font fight, was because he gassed himself out because he was like, I need to fucking wrestle Rob Font because I can't strike with him. If you're not striking with Rob Font, and you're, like, supposed to be this dynamic striker, which, to be fair, Vinicius would probably grapple Rob Font too, but who gives a fuck. Kyler Phillips, I think he's going to gas himself out again. Do a lot of cool shit in the first round, throw a couple spinning wheel kicks, go for a lot of takedowns. Vinicius has got really good takedown defense. Watch the Ricky Simone fight. He defended like fucking 12 of them. Said, he defended 8 of 9. Bernardo Sopai, people, he got fucking out-grappled by Bernardo Sopai. What fucking happened then in the first round? Yeah, sure, and then he gassed himself, and then Bernardo gassed himself out. Round 2, Vinicius defended basically every takedown, outstruck him. Round 3, he fucking dominated him and then knocked him out in the final 30 seconds. Fuck with him. Keep down Vinicius Oliveira, guys. Come on, keep down him. He's a fucking animal. I think Vinicius is going to beat Kyler Phillips. I think he's got wicked striking, very weird angles on the feet. Throws a lot of, like, corkscrew-type punches, like right corkscrew where it just goes past the guard. He lands in awkward positions. Really good combinations as well. He, like, Habona'd against Ricky Simone. He fucking Habona'd, uppercut, head kick. Like, nobody's throwing shit like this against Ricky fucking Simone. Vinicius made people think Ricky Simone was dog shit. Like, Vinicius made people think, like, Ricky Simone's, like, washed. I knew Ricky Simone wasn't washed, dude. Even though I picked Javid Basra. I think Vinicius on the feet, he can match the freak of Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips has got a lot of weird techniques that he likes to throw. I think genuine combinations, Vinicius is better. I think actual technique. Maybe Kyler's a bit better in actual, like, technical striking, but I think just, like, winning striking, like, striking that'll win you a fight, I think Vinicius has got that in the bag. He pressures you really well, and Kyler always gasses out. I think this is a tailor-made matchup for Vinicius Oliveira. Like, Kyler Phillips got dog-walked in the 3rd round by Julian Paiva. I don't forget that shit, dog. Like, you got dog-walked by Paiva. That's one of his 2 losses in the UFC is Julian Paiva. That's tragic. Vinicius Oliveira, first round's competitive. Maybe Kyler lands a bit heavier, I guess. Round 2 and 3, Vinicius dog walks him. wins a 29-28 or 30-27 decision. Lock it in. We move to the start of the main card. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. This is the main card. I'm going to go Daniel Zellhuber on this one. I think he's just going to use his size really well against Michael Johnson. That's really about it. Michael beat Abu Azaitar, or was it Ottman? It was Ottman. Abu's the older one. He beat Ottman Azaitar by knockout, brutal KO. Ottman is a moron. Daniel Zellhuber actually works at range pretty well. People can get inside on him like Esteban was able to do in round 3 and 2 for that matter. Francisco Prado in the first round was able to do it. Christos Yagos as well was able to do it. Like, everyone's able to get inside on Daniel Zellhuber. Pause, by the way. But I think Daniel Zellhuber's... he's got power as well. He's got decent power. You know what I mean? Like, Francisco Prado and Esteban Ribovics genuinely have blockheads. Like, they're, like, literal, like, fucking brick walls for, like, durability. And he still knocked down Ribovic. Like, he still knocked down Esteban. Y'all know how much I fuck with Esteban. That was a really close fight. Daniel Zellhuber, he's just going to use his range. Michael's going to run into something. Maybe he's doing well, and then he gets chinned with, like, a straight right hand. He's just too chinny, man. He gets hurt too much. Like, Jamie Mullarkey's beating you. I know I picked Francisco Prado, but he's fighting a shitter. You lose to Jamie Mullarkey. You know what I mean? You lose to Clay Guida. You know what I mean? And Daniel Zellhuber's got decent grappling as well. Like, that's another thing. Like, he's got actually, like, decent grappling. Michael Johnson's, if he gets hurt, he might shoot a takedown, and Daniel Zellhuber might lock up like a Darce or an Anaconda, because he does have that in his back pocket. I think that Daniel Zellhuber's just going to beat him. I don't think Michael Johnson has, like... he's not like a Trey Ogden. That was who beat Daniel Zellhuber in his debut, right? It was Trey, I think. Where Trey Ogden's got this weird ability to, like, kind of, like... just kind of trap you in a submission position and kind of just, like, not submission position, but just hold you down in a way, just, like, slightly outdo you on the ground. Michael Johnson doesn't have that. He's not like a specialist. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, he is mostly a specialist. He's mostly a striker, but I think on the feet, Daniel Zellhuber's going to use his rangy weapons, his 1s and 2s, his teeps to the body, his low kicks, kind of... he's Santiago Ponzinibbio's in a way where he, like, airplanes out of position wherever he's trying to circle off the fence. I think he'll make Michael Johnson walk on something, kind of, maybe Peyton Talbot, like, 1, delay 2, you know what I mean? Maybe something like that, kind of make him walk onto something. Jab, slip, or peel back right hand, something like that. Something that'll make Michael Johnson try and advance forward, maybe counter him with, like, a left hook. I think Daniel Zellhuber will knock out Michael Johnson eventually in this fight. I will go with Daniel Zellhuber by first or second round KO. KO! We move to Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I'm going to be picking Dan Ige on this one. Patricio Pitbull is... he's good. I honestly think this is a tailor-made matchup for Dan Ige, though. If I'm being totally honest with you. It's a shorter guy. It's the same size as him. Dan Ige, I think he does really well against Patricio isn't one-dimensional. He's very well-rounded. But I think Dan Ige is going to bomb him with something. Like, if Yair Rodriguez is dropping him with a straight right hand, you know what I mean? Like, Yair usually drops people with, like, a crazy fucking jumping switch kick roundhouse, like Andre Philly. You know what I mean? Or an elbow that he did against TKZ. You know, when he drops people, it's usually with something fucking wild. He dropped him with, like, a straight right hand when he walked into, like, boxing range. Patricio Pitbull's defense is very suspect to me. I think it's going to get him caught. I think it's going to get him caught against Dan Ige. Like, I just think, like, Dan Ige... I think this is, like, a tailor-made matchup for him, in my personal opinion. Patricio Pitbull, he's old as shit, 37 years old, had so many wars in his career. I know Dan Ige's had his fair share, but, like, Dan Ige only really loses against, like, the creme de la creme at the time. I don't think Patricio Pitbull is the creme de la creme of this division at this time. I think Patricio Pitbull's a bottom-ranked fighter. Dan Ige, he thrives against unranked competition. Like, that's his bread and butter is unranked people. It's just like people ranked above him that he can't seem to beat. You know what I mean? Like, he can't beat fucking anyone ranked above him, but people below him, dude, he thrives. Like, he thrives. Like, I think the only guy that beat him recently that was ranked lower than him was maybe Movsar Evloev. And maybe Diego Lopez, but that was like a weird one because Diego was like one below him and it was super short notice. But even then, he's winning the third round against Diego Lopez. You know what I mean? He made Diego Lopez so gassed, which we haven't seen Diego Lopez look that gassed ever, other than the Movsar Evloev performance, which again, short notice. I think Patricio Pitbull's pretty rudimentary on the feet. They're kind of like it's like a mirror match almost in a way, but I think Dan Ige is just better. I think he's got more power than Pitbull. I don't know how Pitbull's going to deal with the power if he's getting dropped by a Yair Rodriguez straight right hand. I don't like that at all. I know he kind of he ate like a 1-2 on the way in and then fell down, but Dan Ige hurts people bad. He's got really wicked power. He knocks people the fuck out with his hands. Like, he's got really gnarly power, and he's crazy durable as well. They're both blockheads. I think Pitbull might walk into something and get shinned for it. I'm going to go with Dan Ige first round KO. I think Dan Ige should beat Patricio Pitbull. I think Patricio is not going to mix in his grappling, even though he should against Dan Ige. I think Dan Ige's been working on his grappling. I think his grappling defense is somewhat decent. I think on the feet, even though they're both kind of average, this isn't a fight where Dan Ige is going to be like outreached. He's actually got a longer reach than Patricio Pitbull, and he's like bigger. I'm going Dan Ige 100% on this fight. I think Pitbull is pretty mid right now. I know he was like the Bellator king for a while, but like I think Pitbull's old. I think he came over to the UFC way too late. I'm going Dan Ige. Fuck it. We move to the featured fight, Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Kevin Holland's going to submit this dude in the first or second round. Daniel Rodriguez is old as shit. He gets in clinch positions. His striking is very loopy. He's not really good. He's slow. Kevin Holland looked really good against Vicente Luque. His striking looked really good. He's very durable. Daniel Rodriguez is slow, old as shit. He's going to be smaller. He's going to get outreached by like a bitch in this fight. I think Kevin Holland should submit him. I mean, Neil Magny is getting a Darce choke over this guy. You know what I mean? Like Neil Magny. I think Kevin Holland should beat him. I think it'll be fairly easy. It's a mismatch from hell. Daniel Rodriguez is coming off some decent wins. Morono and Ponzinibbio back-to-back. They're both old heads. They're both so old. And then he's knocking out Ponzinibbio, but he was losing. He lost the second round, Ponzinibbio. Like, very clearly. I think Daniel Rodriguez is pretty average at fighting. Kevin Holland is actually coming into his own. He should beat Daniel Rodriguez fairly easily. I think he'll hurt Daniel. Daniel will shoot something stupid, and Kevin will get a Darce choke, kind of front headlock position him, drag him down, get a Darce choke, and submit him in the first round. Kevin Holland, win this shit. It's easy. We move to the co-main event, Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. I'm going to go with Roman Kopylov. Yeah, Roman, yeah, one of my boys. I saw him live at 291. I saw him knock out Claudio Ribeiro, dude. What are you going to fucking say about it, dude? I think Roman should win this. I think Paulo Costa is pretty washed as it stands. He's 1-4 in his last 5. His last one was Luke Rockhold, and that was a competitive fight. So, Roman Kopylov, really gnarly kicking game. I think that's something that Paulo Costa has seemingly struggled with in his career for a while now. I mean, Israel Adesanya kind of teed him up with kicks. So, and he looked like a bitch against Sean Strickland. Hasn't fought since then as well. He hasn't fought in over a year. I'm not a huge fan of that. I actually hate that a lot. So, yeah, I'm going to go Roman Kopylov fairly easily over Paulo Costa. I think on the feet, Paulo's going to be looking for his bombs. You know what I mean? He's going to be looking for his jab. Roman's going to be teeing him up. He's going to be so much quicker than Paulo Costa in the first round, especially. I can see a finish in the first round for Roman Kopylov, to be honest. He could eventually find a finish. But I think it'll go decision. I think it'll look a lot like the Cesar Almeida fight. And that's another thing. Roman Kopylov's got grappling in his back pocket. I mean, he does have that. And he's got really nasty striking. I think Roman Kopylov should finish. Not finish. I think it'll go to a decision. over Paulo Costa. I think Roman Kopylov will tee him up on the feet. His kicks will be dangerous early. He'll leg kick the shit out of Paulo Costa, go to the body, try and wane that gas tank earlier on, so Paulo Costa in the third round is a sitting duck. And Roman Kopylov will be teeing off on him. Of course, Roman Kopylov's got a suspect gas tank as well. Like, let's not forget, he gassed out against Cesar Almeida and Chris Curtis and Fluffy Hernandez. But Paulo's not going to grapple. It's going to be a stand-up bout. Roman's going to be on the feet, quicker than him with the punches, kicking his body, kicking his leg, head kicking him. I think Paulo Costa will be, like, coming from behind, fighting from behind, this entire fight, and maybe he'll find a shot, I don't think he will. I think Roman Kopylov's defense is pretty good. He's pretty durable as well. I'll go Roman Kopylov via decision. I'll go 30-27. I think he'll style on Paulo Costa for the most part. Paulo just doesn't really look that good anymore to me. I think he's trash. Not trash. I think he's very mid. I think his career was built up in a weird way. I think he's genuinely like fodder for most of the middleweight division now. So I will go Roman Kopylov via decision over Paulo. Paulo, I think he'll just be a step behind. I think the kicking of Roman Kopylov will offset the timing of Paulo Costa. I think Roman's just a better fighter as well. So I will go Roman Kopylov. We move to the main event. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3 for the BMF title. I'm picking Max Holloway, as you can tell by the thumbnail. Dustin Poirier is held together by duct tape at this point in his career. So I can't pick him to beat Max Holloway. Max Holloway up at lightweight looked really good against Justin Gaethje. I think Dustin Poirier, as of recent, in the realm that he's supposed to be good at, on the feet, he's looked pretty mid. The Islam Makhachev fight was genuinely like, it was a performance that was close because Dustin's grappling was actually really good. His striking was unbelievably mid in that fight. I know you can say takedown threat this, takedown threat that. It looked terrible. His striking was so bad in that fight. He was slow on the feet. I know he tore his ACL or some shit in that fight, but dude, Poirier, he's falling apart at the seams. Like there's a famous clip from the Makhachev fight where Makhachev's like working really hard on the back of Poirier in the standing, like, against the fence, and Poirier's looking at his corner like, I tore my ACL, it's falling apart. Like, it's the funniest shit. Like, Islam's like, brother, come on, brother. Dustin's like, I tore my shit. Man, this dude's a scumbag, dude. I tore my shit, man. On the feet, Poirier's got really good boxing. Maybe the first 2 rounds are suspect for Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway moving up is a really good move for him, other than the fact that Ilya also moved up, but he looks better. He looks in shape for this fight. He actually looks really good in this fight. In the photos that I've seen of him, he looks leaner. So does Dustin Poirier, to be fair. I think he's got really good. He's really dense. Is the thing with Max Holloway. He's a very dense featherweight that moved up. He's not like a small guy. Like, he's actually like a bigger featherweight. He's got really good boxing combinations, really good. He's got a good spinning back kick, which works really well against those lightweights because their footwork just isn't as good. I think he'll chew up the leg kick. I think he'll do a lot of the side kicks to the knee that he was doing to Ilya to Dustin Poirier. I'm holding my knee as I'm saying that because I just know how painful that would be. Yeah, I think Dustin's going to be a step behind. I think Holloway's just going to outwork him in this fight, honestly. He's going to work the void really well. I think his footwork's going to really offset Poirier. I think his timing is really good. It worked really well against Gaethje. He's able to take a shot. Of course, the durability, like I just said, he can take a shot, but it is a little suspect now after the Ilya fight. I think Poirier has a suspect chin in his own right. I think people don't talk about that enough. So, I'm going to be going to Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway's going to right the wrong that was the second fight. That probably should have never happened. He's coming in shape, full training camp, and the time that Max Holloway came up to lightweight on a full training camp against Gaethje, he looked like a fucking savant on the feet. I know Gaethje's dumb, but that was a Gaethje coming off the Poirier win, in which he actually looked really good. And Poirier, from what I remember, the first round, Poirier somewhat stumbled Gaethje, but besides that, he did basically fucking nothing in that fight. He did fuck all in that fight. So I think Max Holloway on the feet, low kicking, body kicking, spinning back kicking, working the boxing combinations, throwing more shots than Dustin Poirier can throw. Dustin Poirier's cardio will not hold up. He's falling apart in the cage. I think Dustin Poirier will fall apart in front of Max Holloway, and we will see a sad retirement fight for Dustin Poirier. I think Max Holloway will finish Dustin Poirier in the 3rd or 4th round. Max Holloway, he's coming for a vengeance, and he's salty about the Ilya fight. He wants to really bounce back. He's going to finish Dustin Poirier in the middle rounds in this fight. Teeing off on the body, kind of landing hard on him. Poirier's going to be fighting from behind the entire fight, trying to match the volume of Holloway. While doing that, he's going to gas himself out. I think Holloway's going to tee him up. I think it's going to be a brutal beatdown, and Dustin Poirier is going to be on the sad ending of it. I'm going to be wearing my DP shirt. Don't worry. Hey, this dude's a scumbag, dude. I'm going to be wearing my DP shirt from Full Violence. It hasn't come yet, you fucks. Come on, give me my shirt. I bought 2 of them. But I think Max Holloway should win this 3rd or 4th round TKO. Maybe he hurts him with like a left hook to the body. Dustin Poirier kind of backs up a little bit, takes like a whew, kind of like a breath like that, like Max Griffin did against Chris Curtis. Max Holloway's just going to start unloading on him. Pause. And in the pocket exchange, I think Max Holloway's better. So, yeah, I think Max Holloway's just a better athlete. So, Max Holloway, knockout, lock it in. I'm UFC Thoughts. These have been my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 318, Holloway vs. Poirier 3 on July 19th, 2025. My confident picks reside with Vinicius Oliveira, Kevin Holland, and in the main event, Max Holloway. My pre-card rating is a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's a fun pay-per-view. There's a lot of fun fights on here, but it doesn't scream pay-per-view to me. The main card is not a pay-per-view main card. Paying $80 for it, thank God I got the $10 off. It's weird. I think Holloway Poirier is going to be a sick fight, though. I think Kopylov Paulo will be a sick fight. Oliveira versus Kyler should be sick. Allen versus Marvin Vettori is honestly my 2nd favorite fight on the entire card. Actually, probably 3rd behind Vinicius. And Kevin Holland gets a free win. Islam Dulatov debut. Some guys on here that you can watch out for. But yeah, I think we're going to see a sad fight between Poirier and Holloway. I think it'll be sick, but I think it'll have a sad ending where Poirier kind of just keels over and can't fight anymore. I'm still recovering from the knee, obviously. This kind of was a bitch to record. I didn't want to record on my phone because I felt like a weirdo doing that. I haven't done that in fucking months. I wanted to get a bit back into my own self, kind of try and work back to, getting back into the swing of things, but, it sucks. But, yeah, I will see you guys after the fights. Peace.